Hello everyone and welcome back to another video and another game night, and this time we're on PGR3. First time we played this online, and it's quite a refreshing change. Quite a nice game to play online, quite a fun one. And we start off the game night with only 5 of us, but eventually we do get 7 players by, I think it may be by part 2. But yeah, 5 of us to start off with, and playing on Xbox Live. So if anyone has PGR3 and PGR4, and also has Xbox Live and wants to join in next time, then feel free to do so. But in London for the first race in E-Class, and we are in the Shelby GT 500, the Ford Shelby GT 500. And up into second place, early on, Petras is in the Nissan Skyline R34. And someone's in the Bentley behind. I didn't get a good look at that, but getting used to the physics, getting used to the tracks. Obviously, it's been a while since I played this, so it's quite, like I said, quite a refreshing change to PGR2. And Petras goes for the inside there and takes that far too wide, so he gives me that place. And I think it's Yerrick who's behind in the Bentley Continental GT. But we can see Big Ben coming around here into the right-hander. And one thing that annoyed me during this game night is I'm actually using my my old profile, which is my online profile for this game, and I didn't realise it was set with an automatic gearbox, so the automatic in this game is actually really, really crap, and you'll see what I mean later on in some of the quicker cars. It really does not like to be in the right gear, and it slows you down a lot. And I couldn't change it without backing out of the lobby and going to the settings in the game, so that's a bit annoying, but nevertheless, still enjoyed it, but would definitely change it to manual for next time. It's not quite as good as the PGR2 automatic gearbox, I don't think. But coming around for the second lap, we are pulling away in first place here. Quite a nice track, this one, actually, to start things off. Some quite technical bits in this. But taking that, not too bad at all. And someone's broken away in second. It looks like third to fifth are all bunched up there. And we can fly through there. This Shelby handles really well, surprisingly. It's actually quite a nice car to drive, and one of the better ones in the class, if I remember. Taking an okay line through there, but we're nearly 6 seconds ahead, so that is actually all that happened for the first race. I believe I do, or show, 9 races per part, and I've got 2 parts coming for this, because there were some where we went to cat and mouse, which I'm not going to show them. And there were some other various game modes we tried out as well, but none of them were really any good. The street races are really the only decent ones in here. I believe there was Eliminator, which 1 player per lap gets eliminated, but that's quite boring as well. And there was Capture the Track, which is a strange game mode of getting the best times in certain sections of the track, and you win that section for your team. So yeah, a few game modes to have a play at, but not the most entertaining. But for the second race, we're in the ZR1. A couple guys, we've also got Bengals here in the Nissan GTR Concept. I believe Noel is in the Shelby GT 500, and also Yerrick's in the Nissan GTR Concept. Not a good start though, but moving back up into third place. Again, I like this ZR1. 2 American muscle cars I've chosen so far. And we've got Noel just ahead in the Ford Shelby. Very wide track, this one. I believe we're in Las Vegas. Only 4 locations in PGR3, which is a bit of a letdown if we're excluding the Nürburgring. And Noel goes a bit wide there and hits the wall. And again, even worse, you can really hear when someone hits the wall. In this game, it makes a hefty collision noise. But moving up into second place, we've got Yerrick in our sights. And he actually did that corner not very well. And I managed to do that okay. So slip past into first place in the purpley maroon ZR1. Nice little drift round there. And one amazing thing about playing on Xbox Live is you get kudos, which we're not used to seeing. Playing on X-Link on PGR2. So it's quite cool. And also shows the position, the order of the finishing order once everyone's finished. And everyone crashes into each other on the point-to-point races. But Yerrick got second there, Bengals third, Noel fourth, and Petras was also in here, and he's in fifth for that race. So I think I'm moving to the DB9, which I do for this one. Changing the car every race to use a bit of variety, because it's very balanced, the classes on this game, which is a nice change again. Being able to select a wider variety of cars and still being with a shout and still competing. There are some classes where there is a better car, like the Ferrari 50 GT. In the A class is obviously ridiculously overpowered, but in most of the classes there's a lot of balanced cars, so it's good. Noel's still in the Shelby there. I can't really see what else is going on behind there. But we did break away early in the DB9. We actually went the other way to the rest of the pack around that tunnel section and managed to get a quicker line out of it. And there's an example of the gearbox just changing down to second and sort of bouncing off the limiter before going up to third, when really if I was in manual I'd have just kept that in third. So it does waste a lot of time and a lot of speed in the gearbox. I'm trying to think, there was one car that was particularly bad for it. I think it was one of the RUFs or the roughs, however you say that. But a nice corner around here. Coming across the line for lap number 2. Got a bit of a lead again. In New York this time. So I believe for majority we do go in each location once. So we've got 4 E-Class races, and then I think we move up to D-Class and C-Class and so on. But then I think after B-Class we went into Cat and Mouse and other game modes, so we don't actually do any street races in the A-Classes. So they were all in Cat and Mouse and the other sorts of game modes. Well, it's up to you guys. I didn't find them that interesting to watch, and sometimes hard to commentate over, but if you'd like to see some of the Cat and Mouse rounds, then you can let me know. I can edit some of those and throw them up, some of the better ones. Or if you're just interested in the racing, then that's fine. You can let me know that as well. But getting a nice little lead here. Driving quite smoothly on this track. Again, we're doing some of the shorter circuits because we're in the slower cars, but nothing else happened in that. Was pulling away, so fast forwarding that, Yerrick came second in the Continental, Bengals was in the GTR Concept, Noel in 4th in the Cobra GT500, and Petras in 5th there. So, moving on to the final race for the E-Class. I'm in the Ferrari 355 F1, and Bengals in the GTR, Petras also in the GTR, Yerrick's in the Countach, and I think Noel, there's another GTR there, so he must be in that. And there's a bit of dirty driving going on there, or some collisions happening. And we did find out that the netcode is better than PGR2 on this, but it's still not amazing. So there is that to take into account with this. But getting a good start, obviously, because we were near the front of the pack and maintaining that lead at the moment. But someone's chasing us down. I believe that is Bengals that broke away, if I remember. But this is a nice technical circuit, this one in Tokyo. Quite an interesting one. And Bengals actually caught up through here, doing a nice drifty corner around there. To be fair, it does actually feel quite quick on this game, doing these drifty corners. More so than PGR2. And that was a horrendous misjudgment from me, but luckily, Bengals is the same behind, so we didn't lose much time through there, I don't think. But flat out through that section. And just judging that badly again. Hitting the inside of the wall. Still 1.6 seconds ahead. And drifting nicely there. So one thing you can do in PGR3, and 4 for that matter, is you can add AI into the lobby. But you have to add them in before you create the lobby. You can't change them dynamically in the lobby once you've already created it, which is a bit annoying. So that's why we haven't got any in here, because we didn't know how many would join, and that means that I'd have to back out and remake the lobby. But later on, when we have 7 people, we do actually add one AI into it, because we thought that would be our maximum for the night, 7 people. So later on, there are some 8-car races, which are quite interesting, and that'll be in part number 2. But Bengals was closing the gap there slightly, but he must have crashed into the wall or something. He's now 4 seconds behind on the last lap. And doing these corners fairly nicely. Learning the track a bit more. absolutely nowhere near as smooth on this game as PGR2 because I don't remember half the tracks, and yeah, I was sort of learning them as I go and getting used to the physics as well, which I think I'd got used to the physics pretty much by this point when we move into D-Class, certainly for the next race, but yeah, I don't know the tracks, and to be fair, no one else does really, so it's an even playing field in that respect, but another win there, quite nice. Bengals in second, Noll in third, and Petrus in fourth. 3 GTRs in a row there, and Yerrick came in fifth at that point. So moving up to D-Class, back into London, I picked this RGT, I think it is, and actually, I really did not like this car at all, and this was one of the races where the automatic gearbox was really playing up. And also, it felt incredibly slow to drive, but a load of nonsense on the first corner. Lots of crashing. I believe Yerrick actually did a double kill around there. So, yeah, bit of dirty driving going on. And someone's in the bog standard Corvette C6 there, which is incredibly slow for this class. So, unfortunately, they're not going to have much chance. And Yerrick looks like he's in that TVR sliding round and crashing into him around that corner. But you can see this car is constantly changing down to that second gear and then being right at the top of the rev limit and then changing straight back up to third, and it's such an inefficient way of doing it, and it is really annoying. But driving okay up until this point, not brilliant. And it just bounces off the limiter all the time. Mainly in second gear seems to be the issue, and Yerrick's in that TVR Sagaris or Cigaris, however you pronounce that. But that's a really nice car actually. I use that later on. Really nice to drive and pretty quick in a straight line as well. But yeah, I liked all the E-Class cars I drove so far, but this one, not a fan. Even though I did use it in my playthrough just to use a bit of variety, but it's just not quick enough. But fairly okay in the corners. As I said, if I was using manual gears, I'd have probably liked it a bit more. But Yerrick is closing the gap on us in that TVR, driving well in that TVR. And that was a bit of a bad corner. Tried to shift the weight to the right, which I did succeed in, but yeah, slid a bit around there. This is a better corner. But look at that second gear, just bouncing off the limiter. Absolutely no need to be in second gear there. Fairly tidy around there. And just clipping the inside of the wall. Admittedly, not doing that quite as often in this game as I do in PGR2. But still, it is annoying. And Yerrick seems to have crashed a little bit because he's dropped behind. Again, changing down to second, wasting a lot of time changing back up to third. And nicely round there. 2.6 seconds is the lead we have at this current moment. Come around this left-hander and again doing the same thing. Quite a bad corner there. Again, in that second gear. Yerrick is in the picture. And coming around this corner, I do the same mistake as before and crash into the inside really bad. Losing lots of time and speed. But it does get worse, coming around here. Take that quite nicely. Then over this bump, the weight completely shifts to the left for no apparent reason. And yeah, Yerrick flies past there into first place. So now we've got a chase on to try and retake first place. And we've got just over a lap to do it. But we'll see the difference in acceleration here, even with me drafting the TVR. Yerrick pulling away. If this car had more power, it would be really, really good in the class, but that second gear again, causing havoc. Doing that corner nicely again, apart from the second gear. And third place is about 5 seconds behind at this point. Right on Yerrick's bumper, though. Trying to stay with him at this point. Just easing off as well, giving him a bit of room so I don't crash into him. A little bit wide there from myself. But nice and tidy around there. A bit wide through this bit. And it's pretty close. Close racing at this point. Less than a second. Just starting to create a little gap now. Although I actually do that section without hitting the wall for once. Round there. Again, not too bad. Again, really slow accelerating out of there. It's just not got the power. But unfortunately around here, I do exactly the same thing. Very close to actually missing that completely. But that's, I think 3 or 4 times I've crashed into the barrier on this. Really not very good. So dropping further behind Yerrick for the last few corners of the race. Going over the horrible bump, trying not to repeat the last lap. Doing that corner really nicely. And just going on 2 wheels a bit there, stopping me turning. But third place is still in the picture there. Not too far behind at all. But Yerrick is going to cross the line and take the first place there. Me in second, just behind. 1.4 seconds. And in the end, Bengals did come third in this C6, driving that pretty well. And Noel and Petrus 4th and 5th in the Challenge Stradal. So now on to New York and sit in Class D. I'm in the far bound for this one. Another car I haven't really driven much. Bengals is in the Callaway. I can't remember exactly which model that is. It might be the C12 or something along those lines. Yerrick in the Noble. Again, M something. I don't think it's the M400 because the M400 is the smaller version. It might be like the M14? I'm not exactly sure. Can't remember, but getting a good start. Changed into 6th gear though, and Yerrick is drafting in that Noble. Really on my tail at this point. And I actually looked behind, lost concentration, lost my bearings and braked far too late, but luckily everyone did exactly the same thing, which is quite funny to watch. Everyone piling into that corner. But luckily, coming out still in first place. It looks really wide, this car, from the back. But quite a cool and unique look. With those fins at the bottom. Maybe acting as a diffuser or something. Quad exhaust as well. It is a cool but strange looking car. But getting a bit of a lead at this point. Round the hairpin corner onto the bridge. Don't do that too badly. Keep my speed through there. And I think the Farbowed and the Noble are pretty matched in acceleration there. Not too bad at all. Flying over the bridge into 6th gear. It did sort of drop off a little bit in 6th gear. Well, when the Noble was drafting as well, it was certainly catching up in the higher gear. But an incredibly long straight in these New York tracks. Judging that corner just about okay. Maybe slightly too late on the brakes. Didn't really hit the apex there. Yerrick round as well. The other 3 pretty close in from 3rd to 5th. And across the line for lap number 2. Tells you the racing line in percentage above the, well, below the kudos, and you get a certain score per lap, which is quite a neat touch. I think that's at 83% racing line there. But it looks like I am pulling away slightly here. Now we'll see what model of Noble it is when we finish. Yeah, definitely opening up a bit of a lead now, and see if I can judge this corner a bit better this time. Still slightly too late, but luckily it didn't crash into the wall this time, which is always nice. 2.7 seconds ahead at this point, doing that corner nicely. This car was actually quite nice through the corners. It's got a little bit of a drifty feel to it, but it does help you get the back end round, and it does grip a little bit more out of corners than something that's just all power, like the Shelby GT500. Not the Ford one, but the old Shelby GT500. That really drifts out of corners. And onto the hairpin again. Again, too late and too wide there, but nevertheless. Onto the final bridge straight. Yeah, at 2.6 seconds. I think it stayed around the same. Really long bridges on here. Quite cool though, when you're in the faster cars. Obviously D-Class is not exactly the quickest. So you're on this for a long time, this bridge. And on the brakes this time, actually much better this time. Nice line through there. Yerrick has caught up a little bit, it seems, through that section. But nicely round there. And we do hold on to the first place there. Again, 83% racing line, exactly the same. And M14, it was the M14. Yerrick in second. Noel in third in the Sagaris. And it was the C12, the Callaway. Bengals in fourth there. And Petrus in fifth. Didn't see what car he was in for that race though. Now I go into this Challenge Stradale in Tokyo. Bengals into the Dodge Viper. Nice to see a good mixture of cars being used. Something happening behind. Yerrick in the... Can't really see what that is. That might be the Farbald actually. He's gone into that for a race. It sounds like they've crashed around there. And I think Noel possibly in the TVR again. It's annoying you can't see the names further away. They only appear when you're really close, but nearly side by side here with the Viper. With Bengals here. Again, the second gear just bouncing off the limiter, really wasting time. Should have changed up to third straight away there if I was in manual. But Bengals just crash, oversteered into the wall there. And we're coming up to one of the most horrible bits to try and navigate cleanly and quickly. Going down the spiral section Tokyo, which we'll see quite a few times. Again, bouncing off the rev limiter in second gear. Really, really slow. It really is probably a few seconds slower per lap by the time you've totted it all up. Well, maybe 1 second, depending on the size track. But you do lose a lot of time. You can focus more on your driving than changing gear, but it just puts you in the wrong gear constantly. Really bad. One of the worst automatic gearboxes I've seen, I think. And coming up to this hill section, I did go a bit over-exaggerate on the brakes there, but really didn't want to crash flying up that hill. Which is so easy to do. But this car's obviously lovely to drive, as it was in PGR3. Challenge Stradale. That was actually really bad. I don't know what I was doing there. And Bengals has caught right back up for lap number 2. Only 8 tenths behind. Really close. Someone in third place isn't too far away either. Whoever's in that position. Driving a bit more smoothly now. The Bengals still with us in the Viper. Just dropping off slightly there. And someone is definitely catching up in third. That might be the Farbald. Might be Yerrick in that. But got a 2-second lead until I do my famous move. Crash into the inside of the wall. Yeah, I'm not driving particularly well in this one, I have to say. Onto this horrible section again. So hard to go around there without slowing down to a complete stop. Otherwise, you just fly and hit the wall. Doing that bit much better this time. But again, gearbox let me down. Nevertheless, getting a good exit and good speed down the straight. Round the inside of that corner nicely. And we've opened up a nice gap here now, 5 seconds. It was close before that, but not long left now at all. Nice and slow up that hill section. Oh dear, it's still in third gear. It does not want to change up at all. Ridiculous. Oh, second gear, should I say. It was in. Horrible. But finally, across the line, in first place. Only 71% racing line in that one. Not brilliant. But Yerrick does actually get second in the far bowed. Viper SLT 10, Bengals in third there. I didn't see the fourth and fifth for that one. But moving into the final D-class race, I believe. Went for the Sagaris this time. And Yerrick's in the Sagaris. Petrus in the Sagaris. Bengals in the Sagaris. Noel in something that I can't quite see until it goes past. He's in the Noble M14 now. A couple of us in this cool TVR colour. Petrus went for the blue. All close around here. TVR's crashing. Lots of stuff going on here. And getting pinned by Yerrick. And Petras is... don't know what he's doing really. It's just spinning against the wall. So in fourth place. Got to try and catch these three up now. And hitting the wall there, not the best corner. Short track this one though, that's why there's 5 laps. Noel crossing the line in the Noble in first place. Bengals in second, Yerrick in third. Really nice car to drive this one. My favourite in the class and probably one of the quickest in the class as well. Catching these guys up. Really close between the top 4 here. Probably only a second or so in it. Around this corner that I messed up last time. Bengals goes really wide, able to go past him. I crash into the inside, but then Yerrick goes wide and Noel also goes wide. So we get nearly a 3-way overtake there, but then go back down into third briefly. Yerrick shoots past into first. And now 3 of us from second to fourth crossing the line there for lap number 3. And some crashing going on there, but seeing if we can catch Yerrick up. And now here, I actually went for a really bad move and completely spun Yerrick out. So recognise that straight away. That was really bad on my behalf. So waited for him to move off before I did. I don't know what I was trying there. Maybe I thought he was going for the inside line as well, so I was going to follow him in. But as you can see, it didn't work at all. So bit of a dive bomb that one, but Noel manages to spin out. Yerrick crashes into him, and that actually promotes us into second place for lap number 4. A lot's happened in this race. Lots of stuff. Lots of pins, lots of spins, lots of crashes. But can we catch whoever it is in first? It must be Bengals if that was Noel. Again, this doing the same thing, changing down to second when it doesn't need to. We have actually managed 2,000 kudos in this though, which is quite nice. Oh, a bit wide from myself there, not brilliant, and slidey around there. 2 seconds behind Bengals, 1 lap to go. It's going to be a tall order to try and catch him at this point. In fact, he's gained a couple of tenths through there, 2.3 seconds ahead, and whoever's in third is 2.5 seconds behind. Nicely round there. Nice and slidey. And not too bad round there. We are catching him definitely up at this point. 1.9 seconds. But unfortunately only a few corners to go. Third place still right in it as well. Really nice through there. And just about too wide through there. So nearly got him there. Not quite enough though. It was 1.13 seconds ahead there. Bengals wins that one. Yerrick comes across the line in third there. I think Noel was just come around the corner in the M14 fourth. And Petras in fifth, also in the TVR there. So not too bad a race, that one. Well, obviously there's a few collisions and stuff, but overall not too bad. I believe this is the last one for this this part. Moving up into C class. Using the Ford GT, which is actually in the same class as the F40. As you can see Yerrick in that. Noel in the Murcielago Lamborghini. And now here, I wasn't paying attention, and I thought that carried straight on. I thought we were on the other track. So I looked briefly away at my PC and then looked back. I didn't realise there was a corner there, so completely took out Noel, who then crashed into Yerrick. But luckily it didn't affect the race too much, and they're both still in the same position, so... yeah, my apologies for that one. That was really bad again. Petras in the F40. coming around into 3rd place, and I got pinned there, but that serves me right, really, doesn't it? So, down into 4th place. And Petrus and Noel having a bit of a coming together as well. I'm trying to avoid it without any crazy collisions happening. But the 4GT massively improved in this game compared to PGR2. It was really horrible to drive in that game, but yeah, one of the better ones actually in C-Class. It obviously didn't belong in the Ultimate class in PGR2. But let's see if we can catch Yerrick up in the F40. But yeah, it's quick in a straight line, it handles well, it brakes well. It's just a good overall car for this game. 2 seconds to the car in front, 2 seconds to the car behind. Coming up to the final corner for lap 3, or lap 2 onto lap 3. Only 1.3 seconds behind Yerrick. Just gone on 2 wheels there. And 3rd place has dropped behind nearly 5 seconds now. So lap number 3, 1 second behind Yerrick in the F40. Taking that nicely, using all the space, really on Yerrick's tail now. The F40 and the F50 both really good in this class, alongside the Ford GT. And was trying to go around the inside there, but we both collided, and I just backed out because Yerrick was spinning out a little bit there, but regained control nicely. 6 seconds behind is 3rd place, but still just on Yerrick's tail here. Trying to find that space for the move. Just backing off again around here, don't want to collide with him again. Tapping the brakes, trying to get some sort of pass going. Not happening at this point. Moving on to lap number 4. Yerrick still just ahead. Taking that corner nicely. Coming around the sharp right-hander again. And again, just backing off a little bit. Was a little bit slow out of there, admittedly, but still only half a second behind. Doing that one nicely though, and just about getting a clean overtake. I'm going through the middle of this arc section, and Yerrick to the left, but I did manage to just about get ahead. Onto lap, well, nearly onto lap number 5. Taking that corner nicely as well. And Yerrick just falling behind slightly now for the last lap. So a nice little move, that one. Nice and clean. Onto the last lap. And round here nicely. And that was the first big mistake of the race, apart from taking out Noel completely. But that leaves Yerrick right behind us now for a tense final battle. Doing that nicely, just getting all the space there, using it all. Over this jumpy section, which can be quite hard to take quickly, actually. And smoothly around the last corner. And I think Yerrick completely crashed into the inside of the wall there, so that hands us the win. So a nice little race, that one. Apart from the first lap, was a bit messy. But apart from that, Yerrick did get second. Noel was in 3rd in the Murcielago. Bengals was actually in the Cadillac 16 there, which is quite funny. And I think Petrus came in 5th there. But that's it for part 1, guys. Hope you enjoyed, as always. And I'll catch you for part number 2.